We had our first race in 1988, hoping that we might get 10 boats taking part, but in fact we finished up with 62, and it's gone on from strength to strength until you see around you 300 boats taking part in the Trafalgar Great River Race this year.
There's so much building. I mean, the cutters were our idea, and now there's 20 of those, and more people doing traditional rowing. 2 rows at least, a passenger and a cox, and they row 22 miles down to Greenwich.
It's a kind of amorphous and organic thing.
Oh, it gets difficult under the bridges with the change in the tides and like the swell between the bridges.
Do it, it's great. It's a great laugh, it keeps you fit and you meet loads of new people.
Just enjoy it. It's a really good experience.
It's just a great fun day out, and everybody enjoys it.
No, we're here to enjoy the occasion.
What advice would
It's not a race, really.
A wonderful river, and to be on this in this, 300 boats all dressed up, flags, fancy dress.
Go out and enjoy the day, take in the sights, it's lovely.
I'd say go for it. It's a great pageant, it's a tremendous experience, it's a lot of fun, tremendous festival, and it's something you have to do. If you row a boat, you've got to be here.
It's an absolute delight to row past the Houses of Parliament and under Tower Bridge, and I don't think you get an opportunity to do this in any other way apart from taking the river race.
The Great River Race is now in its 18th year, and this year has over 2,000 competitors, the largest number so far attempting the row from Richmond to the Island Gardens, Greenwich. It is a test of courage and endurance, but also a great social occasion which attracts both the true racer and the leisure rower. When the course is a grueling 22 miles, it's not surprising the Great River Race is fast developing into the Great London River Marathon.
And what would you say to someone who hadn't done it before?
Well, we haven't done it before.
I'm doing it now. This is my 6th year on the Great River Race.
This is the 5th time that we rowed.
It's the first time for row the Great River Race.
The Great River Race? None.
We're taking part in the Trafalgar Great River Race. Our first time taking part.
We are totally naive. We are like lambs to the slaughter. We don't know what to expect. We know that at 3:30 all hell lets loose.
The race is handicapped, with the slowest boats starting first and the faster boats having to work their way through. The lower the boat's number, the earlier its start time.
I've done it twice before, Katie's done it once.
Second time.
But everyone else, it's the first time.
And this is, I think, about the 5th time that we're rowing here on the Thames. And every time we come here, it's wonderful. We always look forward to it.
For all the rowers, the first time that we are here, so it's a great experience for us.
The Great River Race was inspired by the immense interest generated by a charity event in 1987, in which the famous Doggett's Coat and Badge winners from the Company of Watermen and Lightermen rowed its shallop or passenger barge from Hampton Court to the Tower of London. The idea that emerged was to find the UK traditional boat champions by issuing an all-comers challenge to beat the Doggett's men. Entries were restricted to traditional style craft, coxed and powered by a minimum of 4 oars or paddles. And in keeping with the company's historic responsibility to apprentice and license watermen, each boat had to carry a passenger. The winners on handicap would hold for 1 year the challenge trophy of the Company of Watermen and Lightermen, featuring a mounted original waterman's badge, the very badge that was issued to William Savage of Gravesend in 1803.
I'm Richie Richardson, and I come up with the crew from HMS Raleigh, which is the premier training establishment for the Royal Navy, and they've come up to row a gig down, Cornish pilot gig, and I shall be coxing an ex-naval whaler called the Vancouver, who's now in private ownership and been restored.
And we're a team from Teignmouth, which is in Devon. We row seine boats. They're like really heavy boats, yeah. Yeah.
Expect to finish round about 2 hours 50 minutes, 2 hours 55.
Probably about 3.5, maybe 4 hours.
Yeah.
I think 4.5 hours they pull you out anyway.
10 minutes.
Well, I think we should
3 hours and 59 minutes.
4 hours would be good, I think.
I think we should. I think we should aim for 3 hours 50.
We've rowed for 3 hours before, but actually 22 miles.
Oh, we're normally doing about 3 hours, so we'd like to try and take at least sort of 10 or 15 minutes off that.
We've actually won this race. And we won it in 2 hours 31 minutes.
6 hours, 6 hours.
We heard last year the boat took 3 hours, and I think we'll be lucky if we even make it to the end in about 4 hours.
We're aiming for 3.
Probably about 4 hours we're hoping for.
We did 2 hours and 51 minutes last year.
About 2.5 to 3 hours usually.
We did the course within 3.5 hours.
4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours.
Do it in a couple of hours, just over.
No, no, we know it's not going to be easy, but the object for us is obviously to finish. We're not going for any record times.
We hope to do it in 2:45. That, you know, is a reasonable time. 2.5 if we can. Our main aim is to beat Royal.
For as long as London has existed, there has been a need to carry passengers and goods up and down and across the River Thames. The first attempt to regulate these activities came in 1193, when the Corporation of London began licensing boats on the river. But it wasn't until 1700 that the Company of Watermen and Lightermen came into existence.
Oh yes, even before the race we intend to intimidate the other crews. We've brought in some more serious...
Sorry.
This is... Hello?
Lynn. Kate.
Carolyn.
Julie.
Sam.
Robert.
Karen.
Which means it's Cornish for thunder. I don't know if we're going to go like thunder today, but we'll try.
I heard about a dragon boat race, so I thought it was about 200 metres. We all volunteered, and then we found it was 22 miles.
Donna's Australian, so we thought she'd be an expert, so we all volunteered to do it with her.
And then we found out that she's just drumming.
Dragon boats. Gosh, they shift too. Oh, and here's one of the Oxford and Cambridge replicas. They're ostensibly the two fastest boats in the race.
Well, the Sexy Sea Boys from Shaldon and Devon.
We've got the World Championships coming up in October in Teignmouth.
Have we?
Yeah. We should be, yes. Yeah.
We're just up here for the crack, really.
We have 16 people in our boat and 14 rowing. You would think it was fairly straightforward to get 2 rows of 7 oars going in time, but it's actually, it takes a while to get, you know, everybody to get synchronized.
It's going to be a fast one this year because it's quite a heavy tide. It's going to be about 6 knots, you know. Once you get down to the city, it's quite hairy.
We're the Pangbourne water rats. In the Salters skiff, made in Oxford. There are 6 in this race, made by the boatyard Salters, and it's really a picnic boat. It's not intended for racing.
We represent the Welsh Longboat Rowing Association and we row Celtic longboats. Our club is racing 5 boats, but in total probably we have over 30 boats in the race, which is over 10% of the whole field.
With 300 boats carrying over 2,000 competitors, racing for 35 trophies, the Great River Race has become the biggest and most prestigious event of its kind in Europe. The winners will receive the coveted Challenge Trophy of the Company of Watermen and Lightermen of the River Thames and become the 2005 UK Traditional Boat Champions. In addition, they will be presented with the exclusive one-off Trafalgar Great River Race Trophy, made from specially donated original wood and copper from Nelson's flagship, HMS Victory.
I've rowed the Thames twice before, and I've actually, this is my third time as sailing master. I've been on the cutter 14 years when it started, and been sailing master for 8 years.
Well, we certainly hope to come in within the allotted time, but we're not really here to win great pots today. We're here to give everybody across the club a really, really good day out.
Malcolm and I have been rowing since May, twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, to put in the practice time. This year we didn't manage to get that amount of practice time. When we finished the race it showed. You need to train for these things. However much people say they don't train, I suspect they do train a lot more than they say they do.
Well, you've got to get yourself fit. I mean, you've got to be reasonably fit to do it. I wouldn't, you know, anybody who isn't fit would struggle, I would say.
Oh, we're out every week. Training's a bit of a thing. We tend to row to the nearest pub.
Well, we row every
3 times a week
and Wednesdays.
That's the thing, we don't really do training.
We've been rowing for 2-3 months.
No.
We drink a lot together.
We've
Training,
had 2 days training.
1 session last Sunday.
I had a bowl of cereal, I think. We have had
No.
no advice, no guidance.
We go out 3 times a week.
Maybe we haven't had much time to practice as we would normally like.
We don't train a great deal for this.
We've had 1 day's training.
Been training hard all winter.
Drink less and smoke less.
Yes, we have trained from about February.
Well, as a club, we row 4 nights a week all the way through the summer, so we're all pretty race fit anyway. But as this cruise started off in March, Paul, wasn't it?
Yeah, right.
March.
Yeah.
We've been going twice a week since March.
Well, the dragon boats, they're quite daunting when you hear them coming up. You can see them, your cocks can't see them, of course, but there's just this thump, thump, thump of the drummer. It's marking the time for them. It gets closer and closer because they really do move quickly. These great things coming behind you, and just hope that they don't try and paddle straight over the top of you. But every now and then you'll see, whether it's to a signal from the cocks or the drummer, they will change paddle sides to give themselves a rest from rowing in one particular position, change to the other side, but they do it with extraordinary dexterity.
From the Cutty Sark captain's gig. We've come to promote the Cutty Sark and its restoration, what's beginning next year. Every 20 minutes we go rotate, so it's 40 minutes rowing, 20 minutes rest.
I think this is just the point at which you hope that the tide is going to get stronger, or the current's going to get stronger. You're beginning to feel it now. You're coming down into the really busy stretch. There's a lot of pleasure craft from now on, and the tide is really beginning to rip under these bridges.
We are the infamous Langham Double Ds, and we are from Pembrokeshire, and our boat is the Cunningham Stinger.
We haven't dressed up.
We came straight from school.
It is a bit of a family row-up, if you like. I think you can say that.
Right, and what are your chances?
All negligible.
This is where it starts to get quite hazardous in a very small boat. And you're beginning to sort of bounce about quite a bit. And these are the big fast craft coming up past the Houses of Parliament.
It has been built in Cork in Ireland by Mahmora. It's a two-hand curragh and saved for the first time in the Great River Race.
Bit aches the following day.
Well, me, my mouth, because I'm coxswain, but with them, mostly it's the backside.
I get rope burn as the cox.
Yeah, rope burn as a cox and saw everything as a rower. Blisters.
Blisters, sore behind.
The blisters on the hands and the sore bottoms.
To expect to have a very sore bottom and very sore hands by the end of it.
Hard work on the backside, for sure.
Which bit aches the most at the end?
The backside.
You get to that point where you just don't care anymore, you just want to finish.
I think everyone's backside's probably do after a while. It's and your backs and knees and hips and they.
We don't. They're in a terrible state, and bottoms.
And a seat as well.
Yeah, and a seat.
From the blisters. Well, this is my bottom softener.
Calluses.
Calluses.
It's actually harder on the bum than it is on the hands.
Washing dishes is quite useful. But other than that, we'll be taping our hands with a zinc oxide tape, which should help to prevent them from blistering too badly, and if they blister, at least they'll be covered.
Good hearty breakfast, lots of Vaseline on my backside.
Long hair. All over your hand.
This really is a marathon race, and although many people here are here with smiles and it's fun, there are always blisters and everything else at the end.
Oh yeah, we got cushions.
So we're allowed cushions. Do you need them?
I've got my own behind me, actually. I tend not to worry too much.
We're coming past the Millennium Eye now, and the big boats are all sort of beginning to row together. There's a lot of personal tussles going on at this stage now. And you know that the competition is pretty evenly matched. But you do get a chance to see a lot of the sights as you're going past, as you're really beginning to crack along. I think we were at this stage, we had about 6 knots of current underneath us. We'd probably add 5 to that, so we were probably doing a good 10, 11 knots speed over ground. Although you're rowing very, very hard and you're beginning at this stage to wish it was over by now, or the end was nigher, and you think when you get to Tower Bridge, you think, oh, great, that's it.
Tower Bridge.
Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge. And
The Tower Bridge.
Tower Bridge.
Like Tower Bridge.
Tower Bridge. At the start and at the end.
I think it's 3 or 4 miles where there's nothing. So before you enjoy all the view, the bridges, all the excitement, so your mind is out of the rowing, so you can concentrate and look around. Whether after that, it's just nothing and it's just endless, and that's when you start thinking, right, you do hit a wall, your hands are very sore, and everything else.
Big crowd on Tower Bridge, and it's wonderfully encouraging when you're rowing. Everybody calls out your number, or if they have a programme, they'll see from your number the name of your boat and shout it at you, which is lovely. It gives you a very, very, very encouraging feeling. Just tell now at this stage, as you're down in Docklands, the stroke rate, everybody is slowing down. We'll start off at about 30 or 28 or something ridiculous. It's down to about 14 or 15 now.
The boats are home, and for all, a well-earned sense of satisfaction. Not only has everyone had an excellent day, but between them the crews have raised around £500,000 for the various causes they support. At the end of the race, there are tired limbs, aching backs, blistered hands, sore backsides, and a certain dehydration for which there is only one cure. And crews and supporters gather while the judges prepare for prize giving. And while the final scores are tallied, the bars supply a certain cure for dehydration, blisters, and aching backs. The end of another truly great river race.